In this video, you'll find out everything about Maine Coon kittens, how to find one, how to take care of one, and what to expect. I also made a list of products you should own before getting a Maine Coon kitten, and it's in the description. I'm not going into details about Maine Coon's personality and origin. If you want to find out all about them, watch my other videos about Maine Coon Cats. I highly advise you to check them out after watching this video. Maine Coons are one of the most famous cats in the United States. They're hardy, large, affectionate, and laid back. However, there are a few things you should know before getting a Maine Coon kitten. Even if laid back as adults, Maine Coon kittens are anything but calm. They are, just like any other kitten, playful, curious, ambitious, energetic, and untrained. They tend to sleep during the day and blast with energy during the night. It can be hard to teach them that nighttime is for sleeping, but they will eventually get it. If your house is not cat-proof, expect for things to drop and shatter. So before you get a Maine Coon kitten, you'll have to cat-proof your home. Don't let the kitten have access to cables that can be chewed. Remove everything that can be dropped from shelves or tables, and make sure you don't have any harmful or deadly plants to cats. All kitties have a great taste for grass, and when that's not available, other plants will look enticing. Make sure you learn what foods are poisonous to cats, and don't let the kitten near them. After accomplishing the most important step, ensuring their safety, you can go on and search for a Maine Coon kitten. But where do you start? Well, you should look for accredited breeders. There are many advantages when buying a kitten from them, which I discuss on my 101 video. A legit breeder should be registered in one of the following major cat associations. If you cannot find your country listed in any of these, ask your authorities how to determine if a cat breeder is legit. So the first step is to go on these websites and look for the closest catteries to you. Before you get too happy when you find one, hear me out. Catteries usually have a long list of people wanting kittens. If the breeder can offer you one right away, then usually something's fishy. Breeders only allow their females to breed twice a year. Don't be discouraged by the long wait time, though. Take it as an opportunity to learn as much about cats as possible. But even if you're placed on a waiting list, it doesn't mean you'll get a kitten. Breeders are cautious when choosing their kittens' forever homes, so be prepared to be asked many questions. Educate yourself about the do's and don'ts when owning a cat. I have a few videos on the subject, and feel free to check out other channels, like 𝐂𝐴𝐺𝐵. Just remember that cats are not toys. Do your research to be sure you're up for the challenge. Moving on, learn about what questions you should ask the breeder to make sure everything's legit. I can make a dedicated video on this topic. Tell me in the comments if you're interested. Besides catteries, there's also the option of adopting a cat from a shelter, as Maine Coons are very popular. But you can also adopt a regular stray cat without any worries. There are several advantages when adopting a senior cat too. After you found a cattery and had cat-proof your space, it's time to get your kitten home. You can do this once the kitten is between 3 and 4 months old. If someone offers you a younger Maine Coon kitten, you should be very suspicious. You can expect your kitten to be shy and to feel uncomfortable in the first few days. This behavior is normal. Keep the kitten in a separate room for the first 3 to 10 days to help the kitten adapt. You'll have to interact often with your kitten. If the kitten is terrified, leave it be for a few days. Afterwards, spend as much time as possible with your kitten. Petting and playing are a must. For these reasons, you shouldn't get a kitten if you work full-time away from home. Kittens need constant human companionship during the first few weeks to adequately accommodate. One thing you'll have to do is keep brushing your kitten 3 or more times a week. Your kitten will already be used to being brushed, but you must continue to further establish the routine. It will help you a great deal once your cat grows. Also, ask the breeder what type of litter and food the kitten uses. Don't make the mistake of switching any of those in the first few weeks. Litter changes combined with the stress of a new environment can lead to accidents, and food changes can lead to stomach issues. You might be wondering, should you get a male or a female cat? Well, female cats have a reputation for being a little more independent than males. I've looked into this subject. Maine Coon breeders say there aren't notable differences between genders when it comes down to personality. Males get bigger than females, so it's a matter of personal preference. On the other hand, Male Maine Coon kittens tend to play rougher than females. This trait, combined with their larger weight, could be a problem for smaller cats. Moreover, don't forget that each cat is unique. Don't expect your kitten to act precisely by the book when an adult. When it comes down to size, don't count on your Maine Coon kitten growing into a large adult. Maine Coons are medium to large cats, so you can get one that's on the lower end. The parent size can be a good indicator of the size your kitten will be, but it's not always the case. Should you get 1 or 2 kittens? Maine Coons are indeed social cats and enjoy playing with other pets. However, if you have a busy household, a single Maine Coon will do just fine. That is, if he gets plenty of attention. If not, it's best to get 2 kittens to keep each other company and play together. Of course, if you work full-time, you'll still have to find a way to stay at home for a few weeks. Don't be surprised or sad if your Maine Coon kitten doesn't want to be picked up or held. It's nothing personal. These cats don't like it. Moving on to a few questions about Maine Coon kittens' appearance. What colors do Maine Coon kittens come in? The straightforward answer is a ton. There are about 60 possible colors and color combinations. There isn't a better or a worse one. All are gorgeous. What's their eye color? Their eyes can be yellow, gold, copper, or different green shades, depending on their fur color. White Maine Coon cats or bicolored cats can have blue or odd eyes. What's their fur like when they're kittens? Maine Coon kittens are fluff balls, with a denser coat than most kittens. They don't get their full coat until about 2 to 3 years old. A 1-year-old Maine Coon has a 1-inch long coat, while the full coat is about 4 inches long. How long does it take for the Maine Coon cats to reach their full size? The answer is 3 to 5 years. They also take 4 to 5 years to fully mature. Even then, they're still very playful. They do grow up very fast in the first 8 months, though, so make sure to capture those moments. When they're kittens, it's pretty challenging, if not impossible, to train them. Their kittenhood lasts until 7 or 9 months of age, but after kittenhood, they'll become teenagers, of course. Don't panic if they're somewhat aloof and independent until 1.5 years old. They'll become more affectionate afterward. Do Maine Coon kittens shed? They don't shed very much. Once they become adults, they shed no more than the average cat. During spring, they'll dispose of their winter coat, so be prepared for more cleaning. What's the difference between pet quality and show quality kittens? Pet quality kittens don't have the perfect appearance to participate in competitions. They might have slightly larger ears or other minor differences, but you, as an inexperienced person, would not be able to tell. Other than this, there are no differences. The same amount of care goes to any kitten. Show-quality cats can be in the spotlight, but they're more expensive. Should you sterilize your Maine Coon kitten? Yes! If you get a pet-quality kitten, you'll sign a contract agreeing you'll spay or neuter your kitten. Most breeders will not give you the final papers until the procedure is done. What else should you know about Maine Coon kittens? Well, not all vets are accustomed to this breed. You should look for an experienced one, as Maine Coons usually need higher doses of medicine. Additionally, they take about 1 year to grow their adult teeth. It's pretty standard for them to have red gums during this time, but nothing you should be concerned about. What if you decide a Maine Coon kitten is not right for you after you got one? Don't worry, you can always return the kitten to the breeder. All breeders will take them back, as the kittens are their kids. Don't be ashamed and choose this option instead of giving your cat up for adoption or to a shelter. The breeder will gladly take the kitten back and find it a perfect home. And lastly, how much do Maine Coon kittens cost? This is a tough one, but the price of one kitten can be as high as $3,000. There are many factors involved when establishing a kitten's price, and each category is different. If you're sure you want a Maine Coon kitten, ask the breeders directly. And if you're a breeder, please share this information down below. Also, beware of scammers. Never buy a cheaper kitten before checking if the so-called breeder is legit. Otherwise, you can end up with a sick kitten from a kitten mill. And never get a Maine Coon kitten before visiting the cattery. If you can't afford a Maine Coon kitten, you can always opt for a retired cat. These cats aren't old, but they're retired, so they can enjoy being a pet. Of course, their price is lower. Moreover, they're perfect for people who don't have the time to take care of a kitten or don't want to deal with crazy kittens. And last but certainly not least, please also consider adopting a cat or a kitten, not necessarily a Maine Coon. There are tons of loving cats out there looking for a forever home. And who knows, maybe you'll find the perfect one for you at your local shelter. Not to mention the money you'll be saving. But either way, I hope you liked this video. If you do, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out my other videos about Maine Coon cats. They're in the description. You'll also find some super cool stuff for your cat in the links below. See you in my next video!